Hello everyone, and welcome to FineLine Global. Now that you're a part of the team, it's important to know what our main focus is here at FineLine. PCBs, printed circuit boards. This training video is meant to provide you and all FineLine Global employees with a common language and shared understanding of PCBs and how they're made. So are you ready to start? What is a PCB? PCBs are at the heart of every electronic device. Our PCBs power the world across aerospace, automotive, industrial, medical, communication, and consumer appliances. You can find them everywhere, in satellites, in planes, in medical equipment, in the keyboard you type on, and in the phone in your pocket. I want to take you back in time. Originally, before circuit boards were printed, they were made manually and connected by wires. Remember the times when TVs were like big black boxes? Those TVs had manual circuit boards that were large, complicated, and had lots of problems. Today, TVs are elegant and flat, thanks to PCBs. So let's take a closer look at how PCBs are actually made. First, the engineering unit receives the relevant files and checks them to make sure they are designed for manufacturing, DFM. When files are ready for production, they are sent to the factory to be manufactured. PCBs are built from the base materials of multiple layers of copper that are attached together by a non-electrical separating layer called dielectric, which prevents the copper layers from touching one another, like a sandwich, copper, dielectric, copper. We take these base materials, copper, dielectric, copper, which make up the board, and print on it. The printed layers are glued to one another in a process called pressing, using a material called prepeg, a glue-like material. After pressing, the layers are not connected electrically to one another. In order to connect them electrically, holes are drilled through the layers. Copper coating is then applied to the holes and surface. Once the drilled holes are coated with copper plating, the layers are connected electrically. Next, protective processes are applied to the board. First, a mask called solder mask is applied to protect the board from damage and electrical shorts during the assembly process. Then the board surface is coated in a process called surface finishing. Surface finishing is a coat of gold, silver, or other resource, which serves as a border between the assembly components and the bare board. Next, symbols and date codes are printed onto the board according to the customer's needs. Finally, the finished boards are cut from the production panel in a process called routing. Throughout the whole manufacturing process, many inspections are undertaken to ensure the quality of the board. But once the board is ready, it undergoes its final inspections. One of the important final inspections is the electrical test, where we ensure that the board is running smoothly without electrical shorts nor opens. In other words, to make sure the board is not broken. Now that the boards are ready, we can send them to the customer to apply the assembly components onto the board. To sum the whole process up, after our copper dielectric copper sandwiches are printed on, they are pressed and glued to one another. Holes are then drilled through the multi-layers, which are coated with copper coating to connect the layers electrically. Protective processes are applied to keep the board safe, followed by additional symbols and dates printed onto the board. And lastly, the boards are cut from the production panel and undergo their final quality tests. Now, the PCB is finally ready to become a satellite in space, a plane in the skies, a medical device in the hospital, the keyboard you type on, and the phone in your pocket. Thank you for listening.